Coming up on R&B Reviews, it is the battle of the century, and two of DC Comics' legendary superheroes go head-to-head in Batman vs. Superman, The Dawn of Justice. Thank you for checking out R&B Reviews. I am your host, Rob. Batman vs. Superman is DC and Warner Brothers Pictures' attempt to extend their cinematic universe, eventually leading to the Justice League, which features many superheroes. Picking up towards the end of the polarizing Man of Steel, Metropolis has been destroyed thanks to Superman's battle with General Zod, and Bruce Wayne, aka Batman, thinks Superman is a danger to society and he has concerns about the future. But many agree with Bruce, while others see Superman as a sign of hope. In addition to that, there's a piece of Krypton that ends up in the hands of Lex Luthor, who has plans to stop both of these heroes. And there's some other subplots that I won't bring up at this time. Now, while I tried to avoid reading reviews of Batman vs. Superman until I saw the movie myself, it has been out a while, the impression I got was that people either really like this movie or they really hate it, and there's even some people calling for director Zach Snyder to be removed from the Justice League movie. And I know the feeling. Man of Steel was a movie that had elements that I admired, but it also had elements that I really hated. And Batman vs. Superman, for me, is another movie that I had a mixed reaction to. But let me start with the pluses. This visually is a good-looking movie. I like the color and the photography of this movie, the visual design and the special effects, and most of the action scenes I thought were done very well. I also like that Snyder didn't have that camera constantly moving, kind of like a shaky camera like he did in Man of Steel. The only time he really uses it was for chases and if we were following a character, which I think is when the device is best utilized. I also like Ben Affleck's interpretation of Batman. Here he is more of a detective trying to solve things rather than just be seen as a fighting character like some past interpretations, although it took a while for me to get used to the electronic voice that Bruce Wayne uses when he's Batman in this movie. He kind of reminded me of the Batman from Batman the Animated Series, in a, when he as more of a detective than just an action superhero. I also liked how the script shows comparisons to what happened to Bruce Wayne's parents and his motive for trying to stop Superman. Gal Gadot, I don't know if I'm pronouncing her name right, I thought she was a decent Wonder Woman, but I think we'll probably see her more developed in the Justice League movie down the line. I also like that the movie attempted at some intelligent themes, like presenting Superman as both an angel and a devil, and characters discuss whether Superman is really good or evil. I thought that was interesting, but that kind of leads into the things that I didn't like about the movie. Even though the movie did present many smart and relatable themes, I felt like they weren't really given a chance to develop. I mean, I really enjoyed, I would say, the first 20 minutes of the movie, and then the movie, I felt, got bogged down with so much going on that I felt like it didn't have any breathing space to really develop. I didn't really, in the end, I didn't think I felt involved with or cared about what was going on. Although I gotta say, I think I got back into the movie again for like the last act of the film. Performance-wise, I think everybody did a good job, although I didn't really like Eisenberg's hyper Lex Luthor. While I like that the writers and Snyder went with a different approach with having him be like a young business entrepreneur, kind of like Jesse Eisenberg's previous portrayal of Mark Zuckerberg in Social Network. But the way the character is portrayed, he kind of reminds me of Jim Carrey's version of the Riddler from Batman Forever. And while the rest of the cast of this movie had a little bit more subtle, performances, I found him to stick out a bit like a sore thumb and felt like out of place with the tone of the rest of the movie. And also, a lot of reviewers, I don't agree with some of their criticism that the movie needed more humor. I mean, this is DC. I liked how gritty and dark it was, and I don't necessarily agree with that. Now, as I was watching this movie, I heard that there might be an extended cut coming out, and when people pointed out plot holes, whether it was critics or interviewers, Snyder always seemed to mention that there seemed to be scenes that had to be cut out that would have explained things. So I'm wondering whether this extended cut will be superior to make the movie better than what we got here. I mean, this version that was in the theaters runs about 2 hours and 31 minutes already. But based on what I've seen, I think it falls into the trap of what I call the curse of the second film in a series, like Iron Man 2 or Amazing Spider-Man 2, where it's the second film's job after the first film does a few introductions. It's the second film's job to set up the rest of the universe, and there's so much to be told, and it just causes the movie to feel crowded with good ideas that don't seem to get the development it needs. So Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice, I don't think is a horrible movie, but for me, it's a mixed one at best. So I'm going to give it I think it's a movie you can check out in the comforts of your own home, so I'm going to give it a rent it rating. All right, I'm ready for your comments. What did you think of Batman vs. Superman? Do you agree with me? Am I being too hard on it? Am I not being hard enough on it? Go ahead and post your comments, and if you're interested, check out the main page and look at some other movies that are currently playing in the theaters or available to watch in the comforts of your own home, whether it's on DVD, Blu-ray, or Netflix, or on demand. Thank you very much for watching.